This is Chris the Nightmare Riola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today
So
on
the
YouTube.
Golovkin and Jacobs pay-per-view numbers came in. They're talking about 130,000, between 130,000 and 150,000 pay-per-view sales for this fight. That's where I thought it would be. Like, I thought it would be somewhere around 150,000. I paid for the fight. I bought the HD version. I'm not going to lie, though. The first few fights of the telecast, I was flicking back and forth with the March Madness going on, the NCAA basketball tournament. So I only watched the Chocolatito fight and then the main event, but I recorded it, you know what I mean? So, but I paid for the fight, you know, and I enjoyed the fight. As far as pay-per-view over here in the States, as far as this, you know, Showtime and HBO, they need to just cut it. And it has nothing even to do with Jacobs and Golovkin. It's just the fact that there's nobody that's that gains the public's interest over here like that. No matter, and it's not because there's no talented fighters. There's a lot of talented fighters right now over here in the States. Title holders, undefeated records, the whole nine, but they just don't get the public's attention like that. Floyd, you know, and for cash cows like the Floyd Mayweather, you know, Manny Pacquiao's and Oscar De La Hoya's and the Mike Tyson's, other, you know, like guys like that. Luck, you know, and it's just something special about that fighter to gain the interest from the public, whether it be Mike Tyson and his fighting style, or is De La Hoya having a huge Mexican fan base on top of having just non-Mexicans that want to see him fight too. You know, he was always in there with somebody of note that you knew, and it was a competitive fight. You know what I mean? He was fighting good fighters when he was doing it. You wanted to see him fight, you know, so, but it's, you know, but it just has to be something special, man. And if you know, some guys got it and just some guys don't got it. Doesn't mean that they're still not talented fighters around. What I think is we need to just put these fighters on regular TV, you know, like they used to do back in the day, you know, way before pay-per-view came out. Put them on regular TV, build them up on, you know, even if you having them fight on Showtime and HBO, build them up fighting stiff competition. You know what I mean? And unifying titles and, you know, fighting other undefeated fighters. Then you'll get the imagination of the public. You know what I mean? But you just can't build guys up. And then when they get signed to Showtime or HBO, have them fight on your network for a few times and some good fights and then throw them on pay-per-view. It doesn't work like that, man. Like Thurman and Garcia, right? That's a great fight to have on national television for free. Because you're building Keith Thurman up. They did great numbers. You're building him up. Then his next fight, even have the next fight on regular TV also, and another good competitive fight. You know what I mean? It makes sense, man, to have those type of fights on regular television. And then it's also up to the fighters to be able to sell themselves. I'm not saying you got to go out here and do something, you know, have crazy antics and all that, but you got to be charismatic. You got to be able to sell yourself to the public, not just in the ring, but even outside the ring. You have to be like an intriguing figure, man, like a polarizing type of figure for people to want to watch you in droves like that. Like, you have to be something that people want to watch. You know what I mean? They want to see you. They want to come to be entertained. You know what I mean? So, and you have to attract a lot of casual fans. So you got to sell the casuals on something. You know what I mean? Like the hardcore, we're going to be more strict and, we'll be more strict about things. You know what I mean? And things we expect from you as a fighter, but you got to draw the casuals in, man. And the best way is to put it on national television and let these guys fight competition on national television, man. And I just don't think we have, there's not even a fight that's even being talked about amongst just random people that I'm around. You know what I mean? Like when Pacquiao, Mayweather, when that whole thing was going on, you had one guy, Pacquiao, very marketable. Although, his English wasn't, as fluent early, like years ago, you know what I mean? But marketable. He had like this Bruce Lee type of thing about him, especially, you know, with a lot of dudes that I knew, you know what I mean? The dude can fight too, you know, Pacquiao can fight, exciting, you know, so, and he was like an international superstar. So it kind of just, you want to see the dude fight, man, you know, and then he got his break against De La Hoya, his big break, and he, you know, passed that with flying colors. So you want to see him fight again. You know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather, undefeated, brash, the dude can fight. Some people think that he talks too much. People want to see him get knocked out. Some people are just genuine fans of his craft and his skills and his, you know, some people like the shit talking and he's flashy and he's throwing money everywhere. Some people think he's a prick. Some people, you know what I mean? It's just, you want to see him fight. You know what I mean? Some of these guys just don't have that. And then some of the, you know, I've seen some guys like they trying to force it a little bit. So I don't know, man. I guess, you know, and I guess to some degree, you know, you have to have a persona you're putting up. But so, you know, I won't necessarily say people are forcing it, because some of them dudes do put on a persona when they're in front of the camera. You know what I mean? But it just seems like it came naturally to some of those guys, though, man. We just don't have that right now. I'm not saying we don't have talented fighters, man. We have a lot of talented fighters. Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford. I mean, I go on and on, man. We have a lot of talented fighters. And it's very hard. And, you know, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, even Canelo, Oscar De La Hoya, you know, those guys, kind of, because, you know, heavyweights, Mike Tyson and Holyfield and Lennox Lewis, you know, those fights, Riddick Bowe and all that, like, those were the fights, you know, during the pay-per-views. So when small guys came and took it over, you know, when De La Hoya started taking it over, fans got used to that, to where there's no, especially here in America, there's been no, you know, American heavyweight since the 90s, really, that was really had that type of attraction with the fans. So when the little dudes started doing it, people just forgot about heavyweight, especially if you're a boxing fan that just started watching boxing around 07 or 2005, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, like, to you, it's probably unheard of for heavyweights to fight on pay-per-view in the main event for you over here in the States. But to me, like a fan like me, it's like that was the norm. You know what I mean? So I think that maybe we need the heavyweights to be in the spotlight. But, and I'm talking about Deontay Wilder here, he has to get the interest from the public, man. Like, and he has it a little bit, you know what I mean? But once he starts knocking off the marquee names, then people, whether you hate him, you love him, you think whatever you think about him, if he starts knocking off the marquee names, then people are going to want to watch, because then you'll have certain media starting to compare him to other past greats. But this is if he starts to knock out, you know what I mean? Like, if he's stepping up in comp and he's knocking those dudes off, people are going to want to see him more. Then that'll draw interest. But you got to have these fights on regular TV like they've been doing with Wilder. Keep him on regular TV, you know, and then when he does, you know, let's say an Anthony Joshua fight comes up, or even like, you know, something like that. Like if he was to fight Klitschko or Tyson Fury, I'm just talking about fights of that magnitude, Joseph Parker, something like that. Then you have that on Showtime. You know what I mean? Or not the Joshua, or it just depends. I think if Deontay Wilder is the last man standing at the end, and let's say, and it's all hypothetical, man, but I'm just trying to, you know, just give my thoughts about what needs to happen for pay-per-view to even work again, if it even will work again. You know what I mean? It's just, I think it needs to be a heavyweight, and it needs to be a fight of significance. Deontay Wilder or whoever it is, a heavyweight with some titles, fighting in a fight against another heavyweight that has some titles, and the winner of that will be declared the best heavyweight in the world. I mean, really the best heavyweight in the world. Not just, you know, this when guys, you know, like when Wilder fought Washington and after he beat him, he said, I'm the best heavyweight. No, I mean, going in there and, again, hypothetical, let's just say Wilder has 2 titles and he fights Joshua and he has 2 titles. That would be a huge fight. 2 undefeated fighters. One's American and he has 2 titles, and the guy from the UK has 2 titles and he speaks English, and you know what I mean? I think it'd be a huge fight, but that's a lot of ifs, ands, and maybes that I just made up, you know what I mean? But I think it may be the heavyweights turn to step in the spotlight, man. Like the Deontay Wilders and everybody else. You know, but the American heavyweights over here, they're still trying to make a name for themselves. Jarrell Miller and Gerald Washington and all these other guys, they're trying to still make a name for themselves. Whereas Wilder is the top American heavyweight right now, and he has a title, and a lot of fans want to see him in there with some of the other guys, Parker and, you know, Joshua and Klitschko and all that. So I think that fight could probably, you know, Wilder has the chance, I think, to do the best pay-per-view numbers. If everything goes right, and not right now. I'm not saying right now, but if he beats Stavern and he takes another tough one, and then if whoever's standing at the end with him, that could probably do some decent pay-per-view numbers. But I just don't see the days of millions of pay-per-views being sold anymore over here. Now, I know there's still some stars around, Canelo and all those guys. I know Cotto can do decent on pay-per-view, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think pay-per-view's dead, man. Like, they need to just get rid of the shit, man. You know, Mayweather and Pacquiao, they cashed out, broke records. I couldn't even believe when they did the numbers that they did. I mean, they were like doubling up the old record, you know what I mean? So I think they just pretty much ran it dry. I think there's nothing left. There's nothing left. And when you draw so many casuals to that fight, and now to some of us hardcore fans that break down styles and techniques and, you know, the you know, just the way fighters fight, we kind of knew you know, how that fight was going to play out, or the possibilities of it. But you had casuals coming in thinking it's going to be a first round, second, third round knockout and all, you know, just these high expectations. And I'm just sitting there like, y'all think this about to be a slugfest? It's not about, Floyd doesn't fight like, he's not going to fight Pacquiao like that in a slugfest. He's not going to do that. You know, he's going to fight how he always fights, and you're going to be mad as hell at the end of the fight. And that's what happened, you know. But I don't know, man. I think the days of pay-per-view are over with, and the only chance I think we got is a heavyweight to do it. Regardless of who it is, I'm using Wilder because he's the, you know, the top American heavyweight right now. But I think it may need to be a big heavyweight fight, and also stack the card, not just a big heavyweight fight and then have like, and then, you know, some promoters, they like to say, oh, I got, you know, we're having 3 championship fights on this card. And sometimes it'd be like some, you know, some mandatory that doesn't have a shot against the title holder. You know, nah, man, some stacked, really good pay-per-view cards. Like, if you give us 3 or 4 50-50 type of fights, competitive, with known names that we know that are top elite guys on a pay-per-view, that's how you do it. Like some, you know, like what Don King used to do back in the day, man. That dude used to have 11, 12 fights on a fight card, 13 fights on a fight card. And then the televised was like 4 or 5 fights, and they were stacked. Tyson, Chavez, you know, all types of names on them cards, man. So, but, you know, that was back in the day, man. Everything changes now, you know, streaming and bootlegging fights and all that. You know, but shit, you know, it really didn't hurt Mayweather and Pacquiao that much, because they did 4 million views, you know. So I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section about this shit, about pay-per-views over here in the States, man. I know over there in the UK, like, I know Joshua does decent, good numbers. What'd he do? I think him and Dillian White did, what, 400,000 or 700,000? I know, like, the Charles Martin fight, I know one of his fights did, like, really good damn numbers. And I know the prices of pay-per-view are different over there, but over here, I think it's just dead. Unless it's a mega heavyweight fight with an American heavyweight and a stacked undercard. Now, if you think the chances of that happening are small, then I guess we'll never see a good pay-per-view. You know, I just don't see a big pay-per-view happening right now. Again, the talent's there. You got Andre Ward. We have talent. I'm not saying there's not talented fighters, but there's no the public interest like that isn't drawn to anybody except Floyd Mayweather still. You know what I mean? If Floyd comes back, he does 1 million pay-per-views just based on he's back. And visibly, you see him keeping himself in shape, but he's back. And if he wasn't in shape, shit, man, I think if Floyd gained weight, this won't happen. But if he had a little pot belly, you know what I mean? And there was a picture of him on the beach with a pot belly and he was announcing his comeback, he'll probably get 10 million pay-per-views because people be like, oh yeah, he definitely gonna lose. Floyd ain't never got his stuff out of shape. You know what I mean? So he definitely gonna lose this fight. But I don't know, man. I still think the interest is still in Floyd Mayweather, to be honest with you. So yeah, either Floyd Mayweather comeback or it has to be a huge pay-per-view card with American heavyweight involved, Deontay Wilder. If we're talking like right now or in the near future, you know what I mean? So that's just my thoughts, man. You guys let me know what you think about this pay-per-view stuff over here in the States. And what did you think about Golovkin and Jacobs pay-per-view number? And then the fighters like Golovkin and Kovalev and Lomachenko and guys like that, very talented fighters, man. Very talented. There's no dispute in that, you know, but you know, like when guys try to come from overseas and be huge pay-per-view stars, it's tough, man. It's hard. It's not easy, you know. You know, and that kind of goes without saying. Pacquiao was just, again, he's like just one of them. He's just special as far as everything falling into place, some luck on top of he's a great fighter, and he just appealed to the masses like that. Even here in the States, not just in his country and around the world, but just even here in the States, a lot of Pacquiao fans, man, a lot of them. I remember being in the gym, man, and seeing, I know when Nike did that Pacquiao shoe, like all the brothers in the gym had the Pacquiao shoe on, going for Floyd, but you know what I mean? So, he just crossed over, man, you know, and I see Golovkin, isn't he with Jordan Brand? I think he's with Jordan Brand and some other things. So he's trying to, you know, get his name out there and, you know, expand his brand and things like that and market himself, you know, but it's just, you know, those, you know, a Pacquiao is special, you know what I mean? And not just how he fights and talent, but the way he crosses over to the public, man. And his, you know, his English wasn't all that great. So it's not like just because he spoke English. No, it wasn't all that great. He's gotten better, you know what I mean? But, and Golovkin's getting a little bit better. You know, Kovalev can, you know, speak a little bit here and there. I don't think I've ever heard Lomachenko. I don't think I've ever heard him talk. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I've seen him fight, though. The dude can fight. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's just, there's some luck involved, and you got to be with the right team and people to know how to market you and brand you. And it just has to be something about you that the public falls in love with, man, or they, you know, or they hate you. You know what I mean? To where people want to view you like that. So I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you think about this. I'm out.